Hello, everyone, and welcome to the meeting. My name is Shiju Yusuf, the author of Happily Ever After Life Heal and the anchor for Heal O'Clock. Today, I would like to interact with us all on the topic that I've called sex and stress in marriage. When I was preparing for this meeting, I thought about it, and the first few things I wanted to share with you, or that I noted to share with you, is to emphasize how blessed we all are, how gorgeous we are, how intelligent, how beautiful, powerful, strong, inspiring, desirable we all are. And you would notice in the in the article that is appended on this video that I've said this is not to psych anybody up in any way. This is just saying it as it is. This is just, being clear on it. This is who you are. This is our reality. Our existence is no mistake. We are not happening by chance or happenstance. This is a deliberate living. Our lives are deliberate. And that said, I want you to know that you are unique. First of all, you're special, and whatever circumstance, whatever stressful situation you are in right now has only come to you because God knows and is sure and certain about the things He has deposited in you to be able to pull through. He knows that you can surmount all of these things, and particularly I would reference the part of the Bible that says that there's no temptation that is above you. Any temptation or circumstance or situation or stressful, patterns or issues that you go through, you are equipped for it. So that said, I would implore us to pause on these thoughts and appreciate ourselves. Celebrate yourself. If you need to jump up, if you need to, buy yourself a present, just do it, because you are wonderful. You are powerful. The other day I wrote something on my Instagram page where I called myself strength. I had to lower the chair. It seemed like, I was floating in the space where I called myself strength. I didn't call myself a strong woman. I called myself the source, of, if you want to define strength, this is strength. And while I have my weaknesses, while I have my shortfalls, I just believe in my ability. And this has come from constantly training my mind over time. This brings me to the most important thing today, which is the power of the mind. A lot of things goes on in our mind, and like I was saying to Sister Folusho yesterday, I said to her, even if you want to have sex, it happens from your mind. And especially psychologists, health therapists, and sex therapists have also identified that for women, most importantly too, having sex starts from our mind. So we need to guard our mind. We need to understand what goes on in our mind. And guess what? Interestingly, stress also starts from the mind. There are a number of times when I look at myself, I'm not actually stressed, but I just feel stressed. I haven't done anything stressful, but I just feel like I'm stressed. And this is just my mind playing tricks on me. So sex, stress, everything starts in the mind. And so, how do we condition our minds to think in the right pattern? First and foremost, identify or understand, settle it that you are an overcomer. You see, like I said in the write up, God did not promise us a smooth sailing life. What He promised is a victorious one, which means we will pass through hurdles. We will pass through hurdles. But the good thing, the good news, and the hope that we have is that we will overcome. So whatever it is, whatever stressful situation it is, you will overcome. Okay? And it is those things that we actually identify and name as stress that are stress. Guess what? Some things that we name as stress, they are other people's strength. For instance, I used to work in for those that know Nigeria very well, I used to work in Tiamiyu Savage on the island, and I was living at Bega. That was very stressful for me. Do you know, I actually lost 2 pregnancies inside, not really inside traffic, but the stress of the traffic was so much. One of them, I was about 5 months gone. I needed to get to the hospital, but the traffic was terrible. I couldn't make it to the hospital. And eventually I got to the hospital. I had to, anyway, just, you get the drift. For me, that is stress. Living that distance between, my house and where I was working, that long distance between the two is too stressful. And guess what? I had a friend that did not see that was stressful. She enjoyed every bit of it. She enjoyed the process. She celebrated the job. She celebrated where she lived. She was just so positive about it. And also, some of us may have, children that have, special needs, and trust me, and this is not trying to trivialize what it is, because obviously I understand what it is. But as much as some of us are being stressed out, some also are excited about the opportunity to give life to these ones, about the opportunity to be their parents, about the opportunity to mentor, groom, and just bring them up. People are excited about it. So it is my point is, it is whatever we label as stress that is our stress. So once we start decongesting our minds on those things that we have labeled as stress, we begin to see a positive, that ray, that single ray that is always the turning point. That said, I would go back to my the write-up appended on this video. I said, and this is where some people might find it really interesting. Do you know that companionship is the major reason why the marriage marriage was institutionalized? Yeah, not for children. Yeah, not for children. The number one reason why the Institute of Marriage was established is for companionship, and in that companionship is sex. Before having children, you must have sex, won't you? And so it gives me an understanding that sex is paramount. It is very, very important. And that said, sex is God's gift to us. He understands. See, all of these things that we are going through, He knew about them from even before they happen. The Bible says that, He has our names written on the palm of His hands. That means before, and remember that part of the scripture that also says that before He formed you, He knew you. So He understands, He knows all of these things even long before they happen. So that said, He understands how stressful this situation would seem, and made the provision for sex. For those of us that, and Apologies if I didn't make it clear earlier on that this video is actually to address the issue of sex and stress in marriage. Stress we have identified is whatever we call stress. In my book, it may be stressful. In your book, it may not be stressful. So stress is subjective. Stress is not clear-cut. Stress is personal. Okay? And sex is a gift, like we have said. It is God's gift to married people. And do you know that stress is not a valid reason to avoid sex? In fact, sex is used for distressing. So if you want to calm down, I am not a therapist on sex issues, but I have read and experienced enough to know that these things are true. If you want to calm down after a very stressful day as a married couple, just try it out. Prepare your mind for it and engage in active sex. You would see how I'm telling you, you will sleep. Okay, you will sleep because it is a distressor. It's a form of exercise that's loosens your cores, your muscles, your joints, and just helps you relax. Okay, it helps you relax. And like I said, sex is very therapeutic for some people. I'm one of those people that writing is my therapy. I have a lot of emotions. I can't say that because I don't. My strength is not in chit chatting. I have arguably my closest friend is the chit chatter. She can chat for Africa, and that's her person. That's her strength. Mine is to write, and so you can call writing my therapy. But as I embrace writing as therapy, sex can be a therapy for married people as well. And I'm not saying just having sex meaningless sex. I mean love making between a man and a wife. Do you also know that even though generally men have more sexual desires than women, it is enjoyed by both? If you haven't identified ways that by which you can enjoy the act of lovemaking, the the art of lovemaking, you can there are books that you can read actually, and there are people that you can talk to. There are people that you can talk to, and there are books that you can read. But I want us to break the idea that it's a man thing. No way. If you understand the intricacies, if you know your ways around it, I'm telling you as a woman would see that you're beginning to enjoy it even more than him, because obviously you understand the importance, the intricacies, the know-how, the technicalities, and all of the things that it involves. Do you know that arguably, so we talked about companionship and sex. Now, because of time, and just because this is the first of its kind, I just wanted to establish the power of the mind as it relates to sex. The subject is a very broad one, so we may not be able to exhaust it today, but even the subject of the mind, I haven't done justice to it because I know so many I know how complex it is. I know how very, very complex it is, and so I would appreciate a chance to come back and to pick it one after the other, but just to lay the foundation of this today, I would run through a few things that you can help us get our groove back on. So most importantly, and number one of it, is to get your mind right. How do you see yourself? Honestly, I understand, and trust me, I know what it is to have situations that we see as stressful. So it is very easy that we feel beaten, dejected, without hope, forsaken, and all of these things. But we need to understand that victory comes with a place of in a place of knowing, and the place of knowing is in your mind. Whatever you haven't seen, envisioned, will not come to pass. The height that you haven't seen, you cannot attain. The freedom of the mind that you don't see can't come to you. So in essence, there's a place for self-awareness, there's a place for empowerment, and there's a place of liberation which starts from the mind. I know and I understand that it may be stressful situations, may be challenging, but we need to settle it in our mind. This will always pass, and we are conqueror, we are victorious. Okay? Also, I pointed out that another perspective, whether we decide to stress or we put on a grateful and positive attitude to life, these are our choices. Okay? If you decide to stress, it is your choice. I'm sorry to burst our bubbles, but hey, this is what it is. It is your choice. And if you decide to embrace, whatever life throws at us and run with it and say, okay, I'm going to, make something worthwhile out of this experience and situation, it is also our choice. The power of the mind. Okay. So, what do you then do with your mind after a stressful day? Even before you start your day, or whatever, I've said that you need to constantly, as a woman, think about sex. Okay? It is not a sin to think about sex all through the day. I found that just like we have established that however we want it, even the stressful situations that have been established will still, there will still be more situations that will compound on them. So however, this is life, and life will always happen. Let's get that sorted. So however it is, from the start of your day, begin to think about it, how it is going to be whenever you decide to be whenever you decide it will be. So if it's in the night, begin to prepare your mind, and you'll see that instead of this stressful, oh, I just need to rest right now, I just need my space right now, I just need peace and quiet, all of this English that we speak, we see that we are longing. Okay, we are longing, and we are even being active towards it. So think about sex with your partner. Okay? And communicate. Even in the book Heal, Happily Ever After Life, one of the key things that I spoke or wrote about is communication. I don't know what can take the place of communication in a marriage. Sex, stress, blah, 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 blah. Communication is key. It is key. Fellowship, oh my goodness, it is very key. Do you know that the reason why we are created is for fellowship with God? You don't know? Okay, so in the Garden of Eden, God had created everything and just decided, I need to fellowship. I need some, just to interact with somebody. I need to be in constant interaction, constant koinonia with somebody. And man was formed. What fellowship happens without communication? I don't think any does. Anyway, And then I've said again, relax. Relaxation starts from the mind. Know that you are not alone. Oftentimes we get overwhelmed with our feelings and emotions that we forget to live. The other day I wrote about, finding purpose. I was discussing with a group of people about finding purpose, and that we get so consumed in, I need to identify my purpose. I need to know what I'm called out to be. This seminar is ongoing. I need to go for it. This one is, calm down. Do you know that in the process of you identifying your purpose, you're still living? So can we make our living worthwhile while we're still finding what we are finding? Okay? So we need to relax and live. Just live. Live. This morning I woke up with a nagging thought that, hey, I have so much to do. As per not in, obviously I have a lot to do today, but not as per in this day. I just have a lot to do in life. Do you understand? And the thoughts can be very overwhelming that I forget to consciously then make every moment count, every moment worthwhile. So I've said again, relax, okay? Relax. I understand that sex is usually the last thing on our mind in stressful situations. Again, I say to you, do you know that this is arguably the main reason you're married? Yeah. To weather the storm together and ease out on the tension with good sex. Remember your commitment. Modern day feminism. What's feminism? Not the feminism that is the feminism, but what some shade of feminism is preaching now is let your no be no, let your, okay, let me not use that because that's a biblical reference which I don't want to mess around with. But when you say no, stand on your no, do this and all of that. Do you know that by institutionalizing marriage, you enter into a commitment to have sex? It is a commitment, like you are bound by law. Okay, I'm sorry for I'm just trying to throw in some humor, but these are the truths. These are obvious things that we need to know. It is a commitment. We are committed to doing these things. I said, call this the ultimate sacrifice, but isn't marriage itself a sacrifice? Isn't love sacrificial? So many times I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like eating a particular meal, but just because the other person is eating it, I have to. But I'm not saying that this should be your norm. Like every day you should not be happy with what you're doing. I'm just saying that there are times that you know that, oh no, I have to do this just because. And that said, you need to find happiness doing whatever you're doing. Okay? Again, it goes back to the power of the mind. I have a lot more to say. Obviously, I want to talk about how we need to seek help if the situation has, gone beyond all of these things that I'm talking about. Obviously, I also want to talk about practical steps, the things that we can do, but I have to stop now. Okay, thank you for watching and goodbye.